Dutch versus German, what do you think who's gonna win? The Netherlands' economic freedom score is 79.5, which makes its economy the 8th most free in the 2022 index, while Germany's score for economic freedom is 76.1, which puts it at number 16 on the 2022 index. The Netherlands is ranked 5th out of 45 countries in Europe, and its overall score is higher than the averages for both Europe and the rest of the world. Germany is ranked 11th out of 45 countries in Europe, and its overall score is higher than the averages of both the region and the world. Hey folks, welcome back to Country Economies Explained. We are back with another interesting video. Today we are going to talk about the 10 differences between Dutch and Germany economies. So without any further do's, let's get into the video right away. Number 1. Population and unemployment. The population of the Netherlands is 17.4 million with an unemployment of 4.1%, while the other hand, population of Germany is 83.2 million with 4.3% unemployment. Number 2 is GDP. Dutch builds the GDP to $1 trillion with negative 3.8% growth, 1.1% 5-year compound annual growth, $57,534 per capita and inflation 1.1%, while Germany's GDP is $4.5 trillion with negative 4.9% growth, 0.4% 5-year compound annual growth, $54,076 per capita and inflation 0.4%. Number 3 is economic growth. From 2017 to 2019, the Dutch and German economies grew more slowly. In 2020, it grew less, and in 2021, it grew again. During these 5 years, there has been more economic freedom. The Netherlands has gained 3.7 points in economic freedom since 2017 and is now at the top of the mostly free category. This is because of higher scores for rule of law and fiscal health. Even though 9 of the Netherlands' indicators are very good, the economy is still hurt by high taxes and spending by the government. Talking about Germany, its overall economic freedom score has gone up by 2.3 points since 2017. This is the first time in history of the index that a country has moved into the upper half of the mostly free category. This is due to significant score increases in rule of law, which includes property rights, judicial effectiveness, and government integrity. Both the government finances and the freedom of businesses are in good shape, but scores for government spending and tax burden are still low. Number 4 is the impact of COVID-19. As of December 1, 2021, 19,909 deaths in the Netherlands were caused by the pandemic. The Dutch government's response to the crisis was the 53rd most strict among the countries in this index. By 2020, the economy had shrunk by 3.8%. Whereas in Germany, 102,183 people had died because of the pandemic, and the government's response to the crisis was the 8th strictest of all the countries in this index. By 2020, the economy had shrunk by 4.9%. The next difference is the background of these countries. Dutch background. In January 2021, Prime Minister Mark Rutte quit because of a scandal about payments for child welfare. In the March 2021 elections, his center-right People's Party for Freedom and Democracy lost seats, but it is still the biggest party in parliament. In December, talks were going on to form a new government, which Prime Minister Rutte is expected to lead. The Netherlands' support for the EU's Coronavirus Recovery Fund was made possible by cuts to their annual budget contributions. The Netherlands is the hub for transportation in Europe. It has the 5th largest economy in the EU thanks to exports of chemicals, refined oil, and electrical machinery, as well as a highly mechanized and profitable agriculture sector. But Germany remains the most politically and economically significant member of the European Union. Former Chancellor Angela Merkel ruled German politics for 16 years. She was replaced by Olaf Scholz, who became only the 4th Social Democratic Chancellor since the end of World War II. He did this by forming a complicated coalition government with the environmentalist alliance 90 Greens and the market liberal Free Democrats after the September 2021 elections. The strong economy of Germany, which is the 4th largest in the world and the largest in Europe, is based on the export of high-quality manufactured goods. Other European countries and the US have criticized Germany for not spending enough on defense, continuing to build a second natural gas pipeline link with Russia, and having economic ties to China. Next is the rule of law that is totally different in both the nations. In Dutch, the rights to private property are strongly protected and contracts are always upheld. The judicial system is not affected by politics and disputes are settled in a fair way. Corruption in politics is not tolerated very much, and when it does happen, it is dealt with quickly. Anti-corruption laws work and help keep the government honest. The Netherlands has signed on to some of the most important international agreements against corruption. In Germany, property, both physical and intellectual, is well protected, and contracts are followed. The court system is separate from the government, and the government doesn't mess with it. Public corruption is rare, but some industries like the auto industry, construction, and public contracting have a lot of power in politics. Political party funding remains only partially open. The next difference is their government size. In the Dutch, the top tax rate for an individual is 52%, and the top tax rate for a business is 25%. Other taxes include value-added and environmental taxes. Overall, taxes take up 39.3% of all income in the country. In the last 3 years, government spending has been equal to 42.7% of total output, and budget deficits have been equal to an average of 0.6% of GDP. 54% of GDP is equal to the amount of public debt. On the other hand, in Germany, the highest tax rate for an individual is 47.5%, and the highest tax rate for a business is 15.8%. 38.8% of the total income in the country goes to taxes. In the last 3 years, government spending has been equal to 46.7% of total output, and budget deficits have been equal to an average of 0.3% of GDP. The amount of public debt is equal to 68.9% of GDP. See, the law is important, but the thing that is more important than the law is regulatory efficiency. In the Dutch, it is not hard to start a business or get out of debt. Businesses are known for coming up with new ideas. There are a lot more rules on the job market. More and more older people are joining the workforce. The number of people who work on their own has been going up. One of the biggest carbon capture and storage projects in the world is getting built with help from the government. On the other hand, in Germany, the accounting and regulatory systems are complicated, but they are fair. The infrastructure is good and the people are friendly. Germany is 7th out of the 27 EU countries in terms of the average cost of labor. Labor laws make it hard for employers to hire and fire workers. Germany has always been very conservative with its money and finances, but in 2021, inflation rose sharply to almost 3%. This was partly due to sharply rising natural gas prices across Europe. Difference number 9 is the open markets of both the countries. As a member of the EU, the Dutch and Germany both have 46 trade agreements that give them a better deal than other countries. The trade-weighted average tariff rate for EU members is 2.9%, and there are 640 non-tariff measures in place that are required by the EU. The Dutch have 4 more non-tariff barriers that are unique to the country. There are no limits on who can invest from abroad, and most sectors are open. Entrepreneurship grows when banks have rules that make sense. In Germany, foreign investment is supported and made easier by a consistent, clear, and modern investment framework. The financial sector is very competitive, and it offers a wide range of services. The last major difference between both the countries is their FDI inflow. But what actually is FDI inflow? Let's try to understand. Foreign direct investments are net inflows of investment to obtain a long-term management stake in a company operating in an economy other than the investors. It is the total of equity capital, earnings and reinvestment, other long-term capital, and short-term capital as represented in the balance of payments. This series depicts net investment inflows from the reporting economy to the rest of the globe. The FDI inflow of the Netherlands is $150 billion, while on the hand, the FDI inflow of is Germany $112 billion. Alright folks, that's all this video. We hope you like the information given in the video. If you have anything in your mind, feel free to comment below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to get more videos like this. Also, hit the bell icon to get the notification of the latest updates in the channel. Thanks for watching.